Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for Sunday, October 19, 2025. And in the news this evening, alleged gangster Bingi shot dead in Red Hills police operation. An alleged gangster was shot dead during a police operation in Red Hills, St. Andrew on Saturday morning. The deceased has been identified as 40-year-old Kevin Rolson, otherwise called Bingi, of a Kingston 11 address, who is said to have been a top-tier member of the Bottom York Avenue gang. The news understands that police were conducting an intelligence-led operation in the Golden Acres section of Red Hills when they were confronted by Rolson, who opened the fire at them. The lawmen returned the fire and Rolson was fatally shot. A 9mm firearm was seized in the incident. Rolson was wanted in connection with several murders, shootings, and a car theft within the Waltham Park and the Cockburn Pen areas, according to police sources. HMC moves to collect nearly $1 million in rent arrears. Tenants occupying properties owned by the Hanover Municipal Corporation are reportedly behind on their rent, with arrears exceeding $900,000. As a result, the corporation has begun issuing notices demanding payment. Failure to comply will result in eviction and other legal action. Lucy Mayor Sheridan Samuels, who also chairs the HMC, revealed that not only tenants but other entities owe the HMC millions of dollars, funds the corporation is determined to recover. He expressed the disappointment with the delinquent tenants, pointing out that their monthly rent was minimal and should be affordable. You aren't talking about some individuals that are only asked to pay a fee of $5,200 per month for the vending space they occupy, he said. Some individuals are owing hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that is not fair to those who make an effort to meet their financial obligations to the corporation. The work of the HMC is being severely hampered by those tenants who refuse to honor their commitment to the corporation. The HMC will therefore be taking very long action against those who are found to be delinquent, Samuels told the news earlier this week. Samuels said that despite repeated attempts to collect the outstanding amounts, the HMC has encountered resistance, prompting the issuance of formal notices. Tenants have been given 14 days to settle their debts. For those who fail to pay up, the notices will be followed promptly by summonses seeking eviction orders through the courts and recovery of all outstanding amounts with interest and the cost, said Samuels. Samuels noted that the tenants have had multiple opportunities over several months to clear their arrears. While some have cooperated, others have consistently failed to pay. We at the HMC also have bills to pay and the services to provide. We are not harsh or hard. They signed the contracts they agreed to pay, and now they are not paying, stated Samuels. The delinquent tenants occupy various HMC-owned properties, including transport centers and arcades. Many are reportedly running successful businesses and are financially capable of paying their rent. Samuels took the opportunity to commend those tenants and the vendors who consistently meet their obligations. Police advise motorists to avoid a section of the Junction Main Road. The police are advising the public that the Junction Main Road in the vicinity of Brandon Hill, St. Andrew has become hazardous as trees and other debris are blocking the roadway. In addition, rocks are falling from the hills, posing a risk to commuters. The police are advising members of the public to use alternative routes where possible. Earthquake felt in sections of Jamaica. A magnitude 4.2 earthquake was felt in sections of Jamaica on Sunday afternoon. Reports of the quake started just after 2:08 p.m. The earthquake unit says the epicenter was located 8 kilometers south of Buff Bay, Portland, at a depth of 10 kilometers. The quake was reportedly felt in St. Catherine, St. Thomas, Kingston, and St. Andrew. The news will have more information as it becomes available. Dawes drops a former MP's nightlife vision for Port Henderson Road. Newly minted Member of Parliament for St. Catharines South Eastern, Dr. Alfred Dawes says he will not be moving forward with former MP Robert Miller's plan to turn Port Henderson Road into the next Las Vegas. Instead, he intends to further develop and expand the fishing villages along the infamous back road, with wider plans to increase and upgrade spaces for recreational activities within the constituency. The unofficial red light district of the Sunshine City. During his tenure, Miller had announced the plans to turn the popular back road strip into Jamaica's very own Las Vegas, revamping the area into a tourist destination and the largest hip strip in the island. He listed brick streets, an art walk, bright lights, a hall of fame, entertainment, restaurants, and a ferry to transport people in a bid to create a booming nightlife, as well as the programs to integrate into other professions the ladies of the night who operate along the strip. However, having lost the seat to Dawes when Jamaicans went to the polls on September 3 for the 2025 general election, his opponent turned MP has other plans for the popular strip. "I am more focused on having the fishing village with adequate infrastructure in place, roads, and water to enhance the experience of persons who are looking to purchase seafood, as well as to promote the safety and well-being of the vendors and the buyers," said Dawes when questioned by the news last week. He explained that already work is in place and work is about to start with the rehabilitation of the road leading to the Forum Fishing Village, and coupled with that is a plan to provide the vendors with the tanks and subsidize the trucking so that they will have water rather than buying water or having water in drums. There are also issues with respect to the actual communities on that stretch which are informal. "I intend to engage the National Housing Trust to see what funds can be made available for the upliftment of those communities, whether it is paving of roads, the removal of zinc fence, and getting adequate water and sewage for infrastructure in place," said the first-time MP. An international renowned major resort city in the United States, Las Vegas is known primarily for its gambling, shopping, fine dining, entertainment, and nightlife. When the news visited the area a year ago to get reactions to Miller's proposal, some business owners and operators on Port Henderson Road backed his plan, pointing out that with a proper investment, the stretch can position the Sunshine City location as Jamaica's next tourism hip strip. However, Dawes is confident his constituents would prefer what he is proposing over a Las Vegas-type attraction, given the larger Christian community that exists within the space. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.